It's been a minute since we were here together, so today we are going to talk a little bit about a lot of different things and get caught up.
I'm Cameron. I spent years building my career and creating a life I loved. And when my Prince Charming finally showed up, he had 4 kids in tow. Fast forward through lots of mistakes made and lessons learned, stepfamily life was much more complicated than I realized. If you're looking for help with blended family life, you're in the right place. Welcome to the Stepmom Diaries, where we keep it real as we dish about all the things. This is your weekly dose of blended family inspiration and encouragement. You're not the wicked stepmother, so let me help you find your fairy tale ending. Come on, let's do this.
Hello there. It has been a hot minute since we had an episode, so I thought this would be a good time to just have a little catch-up sesh. So if I sound a little weird today, there's a lot going on. I am getting over having COVID last week, which is one of the reasons that I wasn't back a couple of weeks ago. And my voice is still a little froggy. And I am not in my normal office where I record podcasts because we are about to start renovations on our house and are packing everything up. And I am literally doing this on my laptop. And so the sound is just a little squirrely this week. So here we are. So we had the Stepmom Summit a couple of months ago, and I had planned on coming back with new episodes immediately after that. But of course, life had other plans. So when the Stepmom Summit finished up at the end of August, I have to tell you, it was another huge success. I can't tell you how much I love helping stepmoms. And some of the comments, I just want to share them with you here because some of the comments after the summit truly floored me. And if you're not familiar with the summit, this is an event that Beth McDonough of the Inclusive Stepmom and I put on every year now. This is the second year we've done it. We get thousands of stepmoms who join us for 3 days of presentations, all virtual by some of the top experts from around the world. And again, this year, the stepmoms that attended just had an amazing experience. So one of our stepmoms said this. She said, "The Stepmom Summit has been life-changing for me. I did not realize how hard being a stepmom was going to be, and I had no clue all the resources that are available. Beth and Cameron go above and beyond to really impact stepmoms' lives by having amazing speakers and presentations and bonus materials to help us grow." And we had another stepmom that said, "If you're a stepmom who feels like you're on your own and nobody understands, if you're a stepmom and feel like you're sinking or treading water, this conference is for you. There's nothing better than an entire weekend of speakers helping me understand that I'm not alone and that my journey is possible to experience while also keeping true to myself." Y'all, that one in particular just really got me because that's why we started the summit and that's why I do this podcast, is because being a stepmom can be such a lonely experience. You feel like nobody understands what you're going through. Like nobody has those bathroom floor moments that you've got. And to have those 3 days with these women and help them understand that not only are there thousands and thousands and millions really of women out there who understand what they're going through, that, there are some things they can do to cope with their situation. And, you can get advice from experts who have been there and done that. And it just was an amazing experience. It really was. So coming off the summit, I had hoped to come back into doing some more podcasts, but of course, as I said, life had other plans. Right after the summit happened, we had to make some difficult decisions with my 14 and a half year old dog. And y'all, it killed me the whole month of September. I knew it was going to be hard. We knew it was coming. We had set a date for it, and we knew that probably that particular vet appointment in early September was going to be the one. But if you have dogs or if you have cats or animals, you know what I mean here. Even knowing that it was going to happen, it didn't make it any easier. I had had this dog since he was a puppy, trained him. He was my little guy, my little baby. He has seen me through all my major life changes as an adult. He has seen me through, buying my first house, dating, finding Craig, getting married. He has dealt with stepkids who have been very kind to him and stepkids who have been not so kind and downright terrible at other times. He has been there when I've been down and I've been crying. He cuddled with me. I mean, this dog, y'all, was the best dog. Um, and I don't know, it's been almost 2 months, and I am finally at the point where I don't cry every day, but I do still cry. And it hits me at weird moments. Like we'll be driving and I'll just look at Craig and melt down and say, I miss Charlie. And Craig's really good about it. He just says, I know, he was a good dog. Um, it's hard. And if you've been through the loss of a dog, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It is so hard. And of course, everybody says that the best thing you can do is get another dog. And of course, I am just not there. I am sure I will be, but this was just absolutely gutting. And I don't know when I'll get there. It's weird. The house is really quiet. And, sometimes I'll come downstairs in the morning and it's almost like I see him, but I know he's not there clearly. Um, yeah, it's just hard. I'm not quite ready yet. So I don't know. We'll see. I'm sure I'll get there because I love animals, but I'm not there yet. And if you've had an animal, if you came into your blended family with an animal, then you also know what I'm talking about here. And I started thinking about this after Charlie, um, after we had to put him down. I didn't expect having a dog to be one of the issues that I dealt with in a blended family, right? I've already told you how awesome my dog was, and he truly was. He was the best dog. So I figured my stepkids would take to him immediately. I mean, I never met anyone that didn't like my dog. I'm just telling you, he was fantastic. Well, it's not that they didn't take to him. They thought he was fine. But they already had a dog at their mom's house. And it was a dog that they'd had since they were a puppy. That was their dog. So to them, and I didn't realize this until later, to them, this was just one more thing they hadn't asked for. And I'm guessing that it was just sort of another reminder that they were now in this new world with this new person in their life who had this animal that they didn't get to pick out, they didn't ask for. And I don't know, every time I felt like they were rejecting the dog or, not interested in the dog, or, sometimes they would make snide remarks or whatever, it felt like they were rejecting me. And it just sort of made it that much harder, for us to sort of establish that step parent, stepchild bond and all that stuff. And it took me a really long time. It never really occurred to me why it bothered me so much, really until Charlie was gone. And I think it's because I felt like they were rejecting me as they sort of rejected Charlie. And that's not to say that they didn't like him. I think they did like him. I mean, they were not nice to him for the most part and all that, but he wasn't their dog. So I don't know. It took me a while to really sort of think about where they're coming from on this. And at the end of the day, kids have a lot of different emotions when it comes to step parents, and we've talked about this on the podcast before. That they're in this weird situation. They're grieving, that their parents split up. They're adjusting to a new blended family. They're trying to figure out who you're going to be to them and what this, new world is going to look like and all that stuff. And this is just one more reminder for them that everything's different, that, they didn't choose this situation, and frankly that they don't have control over the situation. I mean, kids like to feel like they have some input, some say, some control into their situation and their environment. And, that having a pet sort of thrust upon them is a little like having a step parent thrust upon them. I mean, they get no say in the matter, and they're supposed to be nice to this dog or cat or whatever, and they don't really have any choice in the matter. So once I was able to see that, it really helped me develop even more empathy for them. And I have a significant amount of empathy for them, and I've seen them go through lots of changes and, understand where they're coming from in a lot of ways, because I grew up in a step family also and kind of know a lot of those feelings firsthand, right? Um, but it really did help me empathize with them and understand that when when I felt like they were rejecting my dog, they're not actually rejecting the dog, and they're not actually rejecting me. They're just struggling with the situation they're in, right? And that's totally normal. That's totally normal. So I think today I would just ask you to take a look around your situation. If you're having a hard time with your stepkids, um, and it clearly doesn't have to relate to animals, but if you're having a hard time with your stepkids, I would ask you to just take a pause and see if you can look at the world around you through their eyes. And what are they seeing? You're seeing your home in a certain way. You're making the best home you can make. It's a happy home for you. You love your spouse, you love your partner, and the kids are coming over and maybe they're saying things that hurt your feelings or whatever. Take a minute. What is it they see when they walk in the door? Do they see that happy home that you see? Or do they see another reminder that their parents have split up and they've got this new situation that they're just not sure about? What is it that you can do to help them come to grips with their life be more comfortable in their surroundings? Whatever it is, what is it that you can do to help them once you're able to kind of see things through their eyes? Now, their view of the world is not always going to be the right view, right? They may have a lot of anger. They may be taking stuff out on you that's not fair. All of that can be happening. But I think if you can take a minute and understand where they may be coming from, what they may be experiencing, it'll help you approach some of those tough issues and tough conversations with empathy and love, and that will help your relationship with them. So anyway, thank you for joining me today. We've got a lot of amazing episodes coming up in the next few weeks. I cannot wait for you to hear some of these interviews that I'm doing. And if you enjoy this podcast, if you enjoy the Stepmom Diaries, I would just ask one favor from you. If you could go on iTunes and if you could leave me a nice review or even just click on the little 5 stars, that would be amazing. I would really appreciate it. I really want to help and reach as many stepmoms as possible with this podcast and help them with all the stepmom things. And, if you can go on and leave a nice review or leave 5 stars, it will help me reach more and more stepmoms going forward. So thank you so much. Have a great day, and we'll see you next time.
That's it for this week. If you've enjoyed our chat, I hope you'll help spread the word. Share this episode with friends and head on over to wherever you listen to podcasts and leave me a review. And don't forget, for more great stepmom content, head on over to thiscustomlife.com and follow me on social media. Just search This Custom Life on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Pinterest. Until next time, you keep being you and know that we are in this together. See you here next week.